If you're thinking about moving to Colorado and Littleton is on your list, you're probably looking at one of the most balanced places to live in all of the Denver metro. But here's the reality, depending on where you choose to live in Littleton, your experience can feel completely different. I've had clients move here and absolutely love it and say that they're never ever going to leave. And then I've also had people almost buy in the wrong area and almost make a huge mistake based on the day-to-day life that they were looking for. So in this video, I'm breaking down what it's actually like living here in Littleton, Colorado, the cost, the lifestyle, the commute, and what it's actually like to live here from day to day. And make sure that you stay into the end of the video because I'm going to be sharing some mistakes that I see a lot of people making when thinking about relocating to this specific spot of the state. I really want to make sure that you don't end up in the wrong spot or end up overpaying. And if you're thinking about making a move to Colorado or Littleton and you're still doing a little bit of self-discovery, I've put together a full relocation guide that's going to go over the school ratings, commute times. There's a home search on every single different city. And so if you want that, you can click the link that's in the description below, or if you have questions and you want help navigating this process, make sure that you reach out. That's what I'm here for. And I'd love to help get you here to Colorado and really make sure that it is the best possible experience and that you are avoiding all of the mistakes that I made along the way. Let's start with the lifestyle, because this is truly why most people are going to choose to live in Littleton and pay the higher cost. Littleton has that small town feel, but you're still very connected to Denver and the rest of the metro. It's going to be quieter, more laid back, and a lot more community driven than living in the city. You're going to have places like downtown Littleton where you can walk to really cute restaurants, grab a coffee, and be part of local events. And then you've got Hudson Gardens for concerts, trails, and outdoor space. And then Chatfield State Park, which is going to be one of my favorite places to recreate in Colorado. You have boating, hiking, biking, and all of that Colorado lifestyle all in one. So what that means for you is that you can live somewhere that feels calm, established, but still have access to everything. And if you want Colorado without feeling like you're in the middle of chaos, this is where Littleton really stands out. If you're looking to live somewhere that has absolutely incredible recreation and where you are a very short drive to boating, hiking, biking, whatever it is that you want to do, and where things are just a little bit more quiet, but you also have great access to Denver, Littleton is probably going to be at the top of your list. When we're talking about weather and what it's like day to day in Littleton, Littleton sits right along the foothills, so weather here can feel slightly different than other parts of the Denver metro. You're still getting that 300 days of sunshine or more per year, which makes a huge difference. And when we're talking about temperatures, we're typically seeing the mid to high 80s in the summer, the 40s to low 50s in the winter. And then when we're talking about snow, we typically see around 60 to 80 inches per year, depending on how close you are to the foothills. And when we are talking about rain, we're typically seeing anywhere from 15 to 18 inches of rain per year. Now, what gets a couple people tripped up when moving here is that you can still get the snow in the morning and then it's gone by the afternoon. But if you're closer to areas like King Carroll or Roxborough and places that are closer to the foothills and the mountains, you may see more snow and you may have slightly cooler temps that is going to keep the snow around for longer. So yes, you can have quite a bit of snow and it can melt by 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But depending on where you're at in Littleton and the temperature, you might have snow that is sitting around for a couple days. So it's important for you to understand that if you're not somebody that wants to be in the snow for a couple days, you don't want to be living in Roxborough Park. You don't want to be living that close to the mountains. You want to be living more towards central Littleton. But if you love the snow and you want to be super close to all the wildlife and have snow stick around for a lot longer, then that might just be perfect for you. So even within Littleton itself, location matters a lot more than most people expect. All right, now let's talk about real cost of living and real numbers that you can expect if you are going to move here. Littleton is going to be generally more affordable than places like Boulder, but still competitive with areas like Lakewood and Highlands Ranch. Most of the single family homes here are typically falling in the mid 500s, and up to 700s, 800,000s, depending on updates, location, and lot size. And what a lot of people do not realize is that even in Littleton, we are in a buyer's market. And so we are seeing concessions, we are seeing rate buy downs, we are seeing closing costs being paid, we are seeing HOA dues being paid. And so just make sure that you understand, if you are thinking about moving to Littleton and you are going to buy a house here, you need to be prepared. Prices are going to be higher in Littleton than a lot of the different areas in the Denver metro, but you still have negotiation on your side. You still have a ton of power when it comes to negotiation as a buyer in this market. And so if you want help positioning yourself, definitely reach out, give me a call, and let's get you taken care of and really set up so that you can get as much money back and not leave anything on the table. So yes, prices are going to be higher in Littleton, but you do have leverage if you approach it the right way. Okay, so this is where people get it wrong when moving to Littleton, and these are huge mistakes that I see with people that do not reach out for help. Mistake number one is choosing the wrong part of Littleton. Littleton is not a one-size-fits-all. All of these neighborhoods feel completely different, and living near downtown Littleton is completely different than living in Roxborough or Ken Carroll. Your commute, your lifestyle, even your day-to-day convenience will change depending on where you're at. So location is so crucial, and reaching out to really have somebody help you map out where you should be focusing on is very important. So please, pick up the phone, give me a call, shoot me a message, and let's make sure that you are focusing on the right areas for the lifestyle that you want. Mistake number two is underestimating commute. On paper, Littleton looks very close to Denver, but depending on where you are and what time you're commuting, that 20-minute drive can easily turn into 45-minute commute. And so it's very important that you understand when to also look at how long it's going to take you to get from point A to point B, because if you're mapping out your commute at 10 o'clock in the morning, that is a completely different drive than if you're mapping out your commute at 7 o'clock in the morning. Mistake number three is not understanding older homes. A lot of Littleton has established neighborhoods, which people love, but that can also mean older systems, maintenance that is needed, and updates that are needed. And so it's important that if you are buying a house, that you understand this and that you truly have somebody that is guiding you through what is fair to ask for and what we can negotiate so that you're protected in case some of those systems fail. Mistake number four is not negotiating. There is so much opportunity in this market, and if you're not asking for concessions or credits, you are leaving money on the table. And there's so many people that I talk to that, like I said before, they say, what are concessions? I didn't even know that was a thing. And so don't let that be you. Make sure that you are knowledgeable and make sure that you have all of the information necessary so that you can truly make the best decision for your financial future. And I'm here to help you with that. So don't navigate this and do this alone. Reach out to somebody that has done this themselves and also works day in and day out with people that are just like you doing the same thing. So all my information is here. Give me a call. I'm here to help you. All right, so a little bit of a teaser on the best places for you to live if you are really wanting to move to Littleton after this video and you are ready to get here. You should start thinking about historic Littleton, because if you want walkability and charm, this is going to be it. If you want more of a mountain feel with trails, Ken Carroll is a great option. And then if you want very established neighborhoods with a lot larger lots and mature trees, the Columbine area is a great fit. And then if you want newer homes and views and also great proximity to Roxborough Park, then Roxborough is going to be a great option. And each one of these gives you a completely different lifestyle. And what a lot of people get wrong is that they don't narrow this down based on how they actually want to live. They narrow it down based on price point. They narrow it down based on how cheap they can possibly get into Littleton. And that's just the absolutely wrong angle to take this at. You want to make sure that you are matching the home, matching the neighborhood based on the lifestyle that you want to live when living here in Colorado. That's the reason you're moving here. And if you don't get clear on that, then it's a real big possibility that it's not everything that you thought it was going to be and that you end up moving back home in a couple years or to a different state. All right, so here's what nobody tells you about living in Littleton, Colorado that you really need to know before you make the move. Littleton is going to give you balance, but it's not going to give you everything. You're not getting big city nightlife like Denver, and some areas in Littleton are not very walkable. And depending on where you're at, you may be driving more than you expect. But for a lot of people, the trade-off is exactly what they want. So it's just very important that you understand, again, the lifestyle that you want to lead so that you can get clear on, is the trade-off worth it for you? A few cons before we get into who should move to Littleton and who should not move to Littleton. Okay, so our number one con is that the cost of living in Littleton is still higher than the national average. And so if you are looking for a very affordable place to live with a low cost of living, Littleton is not it, because again, you are truly paying for the destination and the lifestyle. So this is not going to be one of the most affordable places for you to live in Colorado, and it's important that you understand that. Traffic is also a very huge factor depending on your commute. If you are going to be working in Denver, if you're going to be working in Boulder, if you're going to be working somewhere that is not in Littleton, please make sure that you are doing the commute times at the time of rush hour and at the time that you will actually be leaving to and from work. This is important because a lot of people, they want to live somewhere, but they're working somewhere else, and they end up moving, and then they realize that all of their time is spent commuting and in the car and in traffic, and that is not a way to live, and that is not why you moved here. And so it's very important that you understand that traffic can get pretty crazy over here, and that the commute times can get very high and can significantly jump based on the time that you are commuting. So traffic is something that is going to be all over the state. The state is growing. It's a destination state, and you just want to be aware that Littleton is not an exception. It is growing as well. And so if you hate traffic, you should really be looking at an area that is higher up in the mountains. Okay, older homes are going to require more maintenance. And so if you specifically are a first-time home buyer and this is your first home and you're wanting to get one of these older homes and all of the systems are very old, and it can be a great home, it can have great bones, and we just need to be sure that we're doing a very thorough inspection and that you are budgeting and aware of the maintenance that you should expect. So the homes that are older in Littleton, just make sure that you understand that it is going to cost you money to keep up and to maintain these homes, and you want to be aware of that before you make the decision whether or not to purchase. The fourth con is that not every area of Littleton is going to be the same, and so that is truly why it is so important to really reach out, ask for help, and get clear on what part of the city is going to be a fit for you, because sometimes people move to Littleton and they choose the wrong area and they end up relocating and spending a lot of money on moving costs and on selling the home just to relocate to a different part of Littleton. And that is such a waste of time. It's such a waste of energy. It's such a waste of money, and it's something that doesn't need to happen. And so reach out, let's get clear on where is going to be a fit for you so that you can avoid all the time, all the energy, and all the money that you're going to lose if you don't. Who should move to Littleton and who should steer clear? Let me be very, very real to you. Littleton is going to be a great fit for you if you want a quieter, more established community, you value outdoor recreation, access, and space, and you still want proximity to Denver. But if you want constant nightlife, if you want walkability everywhere and city energy, this is probably not your spot. If you are stretching financially just to get into this area, you're not going to feel it, because this is not a low-cost place to live. And if you don't actually use the lifestyle, truly, if you're not going to use the trails, if you're not going to use the outdoor access and the outdoor recreation, why are you paying for it? Why are you paying for it? Go to Aurora or go to Commerce City where it is affordable. If you are not somebody that is going to take advantage of those mountains, if you're not going to take advantage of it, do not pay for it, because you are paying for it in places like Littleton. The trails, the parks, the access to the outdoors, you're paying a premium for something you're not taking advantage of. And so it's just worth having a real conversation with yourself of, if outdoor access and outdoor lifestyle and activity is not your vibe, maybe you should consider moving somewhere else in the state that is going to cost you a lot less, where you don't have the amenities that you're not using. So yes, Littleton is going to be one of the best places for you to choose to live in all of the Denver metro, but where you decide to live within Littleton is going to determine whether or not you have a great experience. So with that being said, if you want to move to Littleton, Colorado, if you want to buy a house in Littleton, Colorado, or if you are still deciding where is going to be the best place for you in Colorado, please reach out. Give me a call. I'll put all of my information over here. And then remember that there are resources in the description below. There's a resource guide, a relocation guide that's going to take you through commute times to Denver, different population amounts, home searches, location, a ton of information. And if you want help on this process, if you want help navigating this relocation journey, and you want help from somebody that has been in your shoes, definitely reach out. I relocated from New Mexico in 2021. I made all of the mistakes so that you don't have to. And I'm really looking forward to connecting with you and helping you move to Colorado and really making sure that this is one of the best experiences of your life. So without further ado, that was all of the reasons why you should consider moving to Littleton and why you might not want to move to Littleton. And if you like this video, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell. And if you haven't decided on the right area yet, make sure that you stick around so that you can watch another video.